You're driving along, talking to someone, half focused on the road, and then your phone calmly says something like, entering a tunnel. The weird part is the timing. You haven't seen a big sign yet. You're not fully under anything, but the phone already knows. For a second, it feels like your device is reading the future, like it has a secret camera pointed down the road. The truth is less spooky and way more interesting. Your phone isn't predicting the future, it's running a fast, quiet detective story in the background, one that mixes maps, radio signals, and tiny motion sensors to guess what's happening before you consciously notice it. And the big secret is this: the phone doesn't need perfect GPS to act confident, it needs a strong enough story that it can keep updating. So here's the mystery we're solving. How can a phone detect a tunnel early, stay on track inside it, and then snap back to reality when you come out, often without you seeing any obvious jump? The answer comes in 3 clues. First, your route is already a plan on a map. Second, GPS and other radios behave differently near a tunnel. Third, your phone can measure motion like a tiny navigation machine. Let's start with the simplest clue, the one most people overlook. When you open a navigation app, you're not just looking at a picture of streets, you're looking at a structured model of the world. Roads, intersections, ramps, bridges, and yes, tunnels, stored as data. Navigation systems constantly compare your noisy location reading to that road model in a process commonly called map matching, which helps keep your dot on the correct road even when signals wobble. Now, if the map already contains a tunnel segment and your route is heading straight into it, the app can warn you before your eyes do. Humans notice tunnels when we see the entrance, the lighting change, the texture of the wall, the sign. Your phone notices tunnels when your path approaches a known tunnel location on the map because it has been counting distance and time the whole way. Here's a quick mindset shift. Navigation is less like, where am I? And more like, which path am I most likely on? That's why map matching works so well in cars. Even if your raw location is a little off, the app knows roads have constraints. You usually can't teleport to a parallel street through buildings, so it uses the map as guardrails, constantly aligning your estimated position to the most plausible road segment. This is also why the phone can feel ahead of you. If you're on a route and the next stretch leads into a tunnel on the map, the app can schedule prompts based on distance, and because it estimates your speed, it can time that prompt so it lands a few seconds early, enough time for you to react, but not so early that it feels wrong. It's not prophecy, it's timing math on top of map data. But here's the part that keeps it from being only a map trick. Tunnels mess with the signals your phone uses to locate itself. So modern phones and operating systems combine multiple inputs, GPS, Wi-Fi, mobile networks, and device sensors to estimate location. That combination is the difference between a dot on a map and a dot that keeps moving through a tunnel. Because once GPS gets shaky, the phone doesn't panic, it switches to other evidence, and the tunnel itself produces a signature the phone can detect, sometimes even before you're fully inside. GPS signals are incredibly weak by the time they reach Earth. Many things can degrade accuracy: signal blockage by structures, indoor or underground use, and reflections called multipath. In a tunnel, you lose a clean view of the sky, so the receiver can't reliably see enough satellites or clean signals to compute a solid fix. So what does the phone actually notice? Not tunnel as a word, more like my satellite-based confidence is collapsing. Location systems track accuracy estimates in signal conditions. When you're approaching a tunnel entrance, GPS performance can start degrading due to partial blockage and reflections, then drop hard once you're inside. That sudden shift is one more clue the environment just changed. And GPS isn't the only radio game in town. Phones can also estimate location from mobile networks. Cellular systems include multiple positioning approaches, ranging from basic cell identity to more advanced timing-based methods, depending on network support and device capabilities. These methods are usually less precise than good GPS, but they can still help keep the phone from going blank when satellites disappear. Now here's a twist. In many tunnels, your phone still has bars. How? because tunnels often use special infrastructure like radiating cables, sometimes called leaky feeders,
or distributed antenna systems to carry radio coverage through enclosed spaces, so your phone may keep a cellular connection while your GPS is gone, which makes the experience feel smoother. In places building modern underground connectivity, you'll also see large projects to bring 4G and 5G coverage below ground using dedicated infrastructure. That matters because it changes the phone's evidence mix: fewer satellites, but stronger network signals. Different tunnel, different feel. That's why your navigation might be perfect in one tunnel and messy in another.
Now for the part that feels like magic: movement without GPS. Your phone contains an IMU, an inertial measurement unit, built from sensors like the accelerometer and gyroscope. These sensors measure changes in motion and rotation. On their own, they drift over time, but for short periods, like passing through a tunnel, they're good enough to estimate that you're moving forward at roughly this pace. This approach is often described as dead reckoning. You start from a known position, then update your estimate using movement. The catch is that small errors stack up. That's why dead reckoning needs guardrails. Without them, a phone could drift sideways off the road or slowly slide into impossible places. So the phone doesn't trust the sensors alone. It fuses them with maps and any radio signals that still exist. This is where map matching becomes more than a convenience. It becomes a stabilizer. If the map says the tunnel is basically a straight line for a certain distance, and your sensors say steady forward motion, the system can keep your dot moving in a believable way, even with 0 satellites. And if the tunnel curves, the road geometry helps constrain the curve your dot is allowed to take. Some map matching methods use probabilistic models to choose the most likely road path when the location signal is noisy or sampled less often. You don't need the math to get the point. The phone is constantly asking, given this messy data, which road position makes the most sense? In a tunnel, that question becomes everything. And there's one more quiet sensor that helps in a way people rarely expect: the barometer. Many phones measure air pressure, which can help estimate changes in elevation. That's useful for detecting ramps, climbs, and vertical transitions, especially where GPS altitude is unreliable. So when your phone knows you're in a tunnel early, it's usually not one trick, it's a stack of small advantages. The map knows a tunnel exists, your route knows you're heading into it, the GPS confidence starts dropping, network signals may continue, motion sensors keep counting movement, and the map snaps your estimate to the only place that makes sense: inside that tunnel corridor. That's why it feels smooth. Here's the you think X but Y moment. You think navigation is a single blue dot powered by GPS, but modern phones treat GPS as only one witness in a bigger courtroom. If GPS goes quiet, the other witnesses still talk, and the judge, your operating system's location system, tries to produce the best possible story from all of it, updating it constantly. This also explains why different phones and apps behave differently in tunnels. It depends on sensor quality, how the system fuses signals, map quality, and what infrastructure exists in that tunnel. Some tunnels are basically radio dead zones. Others have modern underground coverage systems that keep your data flowing. Same idea, different conditions, different results. And if you've ever seen the dot jump when you exit a tunnel, that's the fusion system correcting itself. The moment satellites become visible again, the phone can compare the dead-reckoned estimate to a fresh satellite fix. If there's drift, it snaps back to the best known truth. That snap can look like a glitch, but it's actually the system admitting, okay, now I have better evidence. So the phone doesn't really know you're in a tunnel before you do. It knows you're approaching a place where its evidence will change, because maps, sensors, and radio signals are already telling that story. The tunnel is just the perfect stage where all those invisible systems become obvious. You only notice the magic because the sky disappears. One last twist, because this isn't only about tunnels, it's also about what you allow your phone to use. Location systems typically rely on combinations of GPS, Wi-Fi, cellular, and Bluetooth signals, depending on your settings and permissions. Wi-Fi plays a huge role here. Location services can use broadcast Wi-Fi information from access points to improve position estimates.
The result is that even when GPS struggles, your phone might still place you accurately using the radio fingerprints around you. And there are opt-outs and privacy controls most people never hear about. Some systems allow access point owners to opt out of being used for location databases by adjusting the network name in a specific way. Details like that reveal the bigger reality. The tunnel magic is built on infrastructure, databases, and settings, not just satellites in space. So next time your phone seems to know you're in a tunnel before you do, you can smile, because now you know what's really happening. It's a fast, real-time negotiation between a world model, noisy sensors, and radio signals. The phone isn't psychic, it's just very good at stitching clues together and staying confident even when the sky disappears.